Season prediction time. Since the beginning of the spring, I've been pretty down on the Cats. I've been saying since I think February, they're only going to win 5 games. In filling out my season predictions, I ran into a predicament. The Louisville game. The math ain't mathing with my 5 wins scenario. Because if they get to the Governor's Cup and they already have 5 wins, a Mark Stoops team playing Vince Marrow in Louisville, needing a win to get into a bowl game, they're absolutely winning that.
Record, I'm going 5-7 for the Cats. Just missed out on the bowl game in the last game of the season. Spoiler.
I'm going 6-6.
We're going 5-7 for the Kentucky Wildcats. They're going to beat Toledo, I think pretty comfortably actually. Vanderbilt, I think, is going to be our kind of surprise, play really well. Everybody's caught up in the Diego Pavia hype train, and Kentucky ends up pulling that one off.
I'm going 4-8 for Kentucky. I think they win every non-conference game and lose every SEC game.
5-7, 2-6. I think there's a lot of losses in the middle of the season. I think they get a couple wins late, and then they go into that Louisville game with a chance to win to go to a bowl game.
We're going bowling. We're going 6-6. We're going to the Liberty Bowl. It's in Memphis, right? We're going to Memphis. I think that they get out of there. Toledo, I think they survive that one. And then at some point, maybe we see Cutter Boley, but I think Calzada does just enough. I think they're going to go back to like running the ball a little bit more. So they're going to be competitive in a lot of games. Not a lot of them are going to turn into wins, but I think they can at least surprise some people and get to 6.
Cats are going 5-7. They'll be 5-7 going into that Louisville game. We're going to be sweating our you-know-what's off. Just saying, oh, maybe they can pull the upset, but I'm betting on history this year.
I have Kentucky going 5-7 this year with wins over Toledo, Eastern Michigan, Florida, Tennessee Tech, and Vanderbilt.
My upset pick, really, it's an upset now, but I think by the time this game gets here, it might not even be an upset. But I think the Cats are going to continue their success against Florida. Had their number the last 5 or 6 years. This year you're getting Florida in Lexington in November. That never happens. Florida won't even know how to play in the cold, assuming it's cold. I'd love for it to snow that day. But my big upset pick is the Cats taking down the Gators, which is starting to become a little bit of tradition around here.
So not my biggest upset pick, but there's that 6-game SEC stretch in the middle of the season there, in the middle of schedule that has me very worried. But that's where my biggest win of the season comes into play. Kentucky's going to lose, I think, those first 2 or 3 games, and then beat Tennessee at home. That is my big win for Kentucky this season. And then unfortunately, they will lose to Louisville at the end there to finish with a 5-7 and miss out on bowl eligibility. But yes, Tennessee, I do see Kentucky pulling that one off in the middle, kind of avoiding a disaster scenario where if they lose that Tennessee game, things can all really crumble from there. But they're going to pick up that win.
Crazy upset. I think about as crazy it's going to get to Tennessee.
All right, you feeling good about the Tennessee game?
Not even that I'm feeling good about Tennessee. I just think Tennessee's not going to be very great, especially with Nico going to UCLA. I just think Kentucky can kind of sneak in and get that one, especially with it being at home.
Biggest upset, Kentucky is going to beat the Florida Gators because Billy Napier is a bum. I was going to say, Billy Napier, hot seat. People already hate his guts down in Gainesville, kind of saved his job at the end of the year. I think all of that was just for show. It's fool's gold. Kentucky's going to officially send him into unemployment.
My big win is they beat Louisville. Big emotional game. Vince Marrow coming back. Vince Marrow going to play Vince Marrow, and I think they beat Louisville on the road.
Kentucky beats Ole Miss week 2.
Okay. Biggest upset would be everybody else is picking it, right? Tennessee Volunteers. We're going to do it. I got to pick it every year.
I'm doing it again. Cats are beating Ole Miss. And like I said, I'm betting on history because the history with Ole Miss, it's always close. They always play a tight game. Ole Miss lost everybody. Kentucky is going to take them down in week 2. I want to pick a few other upsets, but history is telling me not to. That's the Tennessee series, right? They don't do well against them. South Carolina, you had a history of beating them, but Shane Beamer, he's reversed the curse. So I want to believe that the Cats are going bowling, but history's saying, not so fast, my friend.
Biggest upset, I'm going with Florida because Florida is coming to Lexington for the first time since 1990, and the Gators are going to be cold. They're going to be cold, and they have a really brutal schedule. But I think Kentucky gets them at a good time. They will just be coming off playing Georgia, and they'll be heading into playing Ole Miss. So maybe they'll overlook Kentucky, who will be coming off a brutal 5-game stretch. So if there's a chance for Kentucky to pull off an upset, I think it's at home versus Florida.
Hot take is as long as Kentucky has 5 wins through 11 games, win the 3 non-conference, and just get 2 SEC games. If you've got me at 5 at Thanksgiving, they're winning that damn Governor's Cup. There's no way Mark Stoops, with his back against the wall, needing a win to get to the bowl season for the first time since he broke the streak. You got Vince Marrow wearing his pants inside out on the other sideline. Hot take, Cats win the Governor's Cup if they already have 5 wins when they get to that one on Thanksgiving.
My hot take is that by the end of the season, Cutter Boley will be the no-doubt future face of Kentucky football. Boom.
Hottest takes, Kentucky's going to start 0-2. Kentucky's going to lose to Toledo. They're going to lose to Ole Miss. Zach Calzada, your 2 games were nice. Cutter Boley comes in. Kentucky goes 6-4 the rest of the way. And then his junior season, Kentucky kind of has some high momentum going into that season.
My hottest take is that Kentucky finishes 5-7, but there is such a culture reset that we actually feel positive about Mark Stoops leaving the season. So Kentucky doesn't go bowling, but we'd feel somewhat okay about the future of Mark Stoops at Kentucky. I think once we get past the embarrassment of what last season was and just the entitlement, guys that just didn't, belong here, guys that are here for just the NIL checks and not really focusing on, the bring your lunch pail to work. We need that blue collar approach, and Kentucky's going to get that back, but it's only going to lead to 5 wins, and I think it's just going to be a long-term investment to get back where we belong.
Hottest take is Calzada starts every game for Kentucky. Sorry, Zach, I gotta override your prediction.
Kentucky has the most sacks since 2018. David Gusta, first team All-SEC.
Kentucky's going to make running sexy again. Everybody wants to throw it around the yard. We're spending all this time talking about Calzada, Boley, quarterback. It don't matter. Just run the damn ball.
Jacob Callaway wins Kentucky a game. That's my hot take. Every year of the Mark Stoops era, there is a game that comes down to a made or missed field goal, either for Kentucky or against Kentucky. It's going to happen again this year, so I don't know if that's much of a hot take. Callaway coming in for Alex Rayner was automatic for Kentucky the last 2 seasons. I think he missed 2 kicks. Where my stat guy? There you go. He missed 1 versus Tennessee. I think he missed 2. So Callaway continues this run of good place kicking. That's a really fun hot take. Field goal kicking.
Kentucky will get a win over a top 25 team this year, and it's going to be Florida. Like I said, Florida has a brutal schedule this year. They face, I think, as many top 25 teams as any team in the country, but I think the AP voters will overlook that because they have a Heisman candidate quarterback in DJ Lagway. So I think the voters will give them the benefit of the doubt, keep them in the top 25 when they come to Kroger Field, which is when Mark Stoops' team will rally for the final stretch of the season and pull off the upset.